So today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how I get my toys, as you would call it, my adult toys. Don't call it that. No, God. Don't call it that. My off-road toys, my four-wheelers and my dirt bikes and square bodies and stuff, and why I get them. Obviously, if I wanted to make any money, I would just take my butt to work. So it's not all just that, but they are my hobby, and I don't want to sink a ton of money in it and not get it back. So what I'll do, as you can see, this thing's rusty and a little rough shape, but I picked it up today for 800 bucks. So I can go buy the same bike for like, 2,500 bucks, sometimes 1,500 bucks. You can get a pretty nice one. And then obviously you get lucky and someone just wants a vehicle gone or a dirt bike four-wheeler gone, and you can pick them up for less than $1,000 if they need the money or something. But that's not always the case, and right now the market is super high. So I'll find one that doesn't run, or maybe it runs but it's in rough shape. This one didn't run. I went to go look at it, and the post was basically one of those need gone today scenarios, and so I kind of took advantage of it. He was asking 1,800 bucks. He got it down to 1,000 pretty easy, and then I figured, I want it for less. $1,000 for a chunk of metal doesn't run. That tells me I don't know if the trans is good. I don't know if the clutch is good. All that stuff. So I got him down to 800 bucks by the time I got there and was looking at it, and I was told it needed a spark plug when I was like 5 minutes away, which was a 2-hour drive, which that kind of sucks. It'd be nice if you people that sell these things would tell us ahead of time, hey, it needs a spark plug, you can't hear it run. But no big deal. Don't remember. But I got there, I looked at it, doesn't have a spark plug. Okay, well, if it's got compression, which it does, for a 2-stroke 125, it's not a whole lot, but it's not bad. So I pulled the plug out. I had a set of channel locks. Take tools with you. I pulled a plug out and checked to see if it had spark. Just left the spark plug in the coil wire, touched it to the head, and it had spark. Okay, so he's full of crap. Don't trust anything else he says. So now I'm looking over everything, right? Making sure throttle cable's good. You can hear the carburetor open and close. Checking the gears from what I can do. Like I can put it in first, make sure there's no crunching, putting it in second. And then overall, just kind of looking over everything, making sure there's no cracks, nothing's loose. These levers get stripped out. Obviously, that's good. I know that because I check compression. Making sure the radiator has water in it, and that it's not, wet in certain places. It's not leaking. Making sure the clutch, put it in gear, pulling the clutch, make sure it's engaging and disengaging, not hanging up. And then kind of why it's not starting. I've got spark, I've got compression, so it had to be something small. I wasn't getting fuel, so I literally checked the gas tank, and he's like, it's got gas. And I'm like, well, maybe it doesn't. It did have gas in it. I checked the fuel line. It had a see-through line, so I could tell fuel was getting to it, and it didn't quite look like it was. That's one of those things I'm not going to say out loud, because dude might be like, oh, I'm not selling it to you. I didn't know that's what it was. I'm sorry, I can't sell it. Which is understandable, but he posted it. I have cash. I'm buying it. So then at that point, I decided it was a good deal. 800 bucks, even if something small was wrong, I'm okay with taking the risk. So I got home, put it in the shed. Wasn't going to work on it tonight, but I figured, I want to be able to sleep. So let's see if I lost my money or not. Come out here, and the first thing I think to do is see if I have spark. I already had spark, and I want to hear it run. It doesn't have to run great, but I want to hear that it runs so that I can go to sleep. So I pulled my seats off, pulled my plastic off, didn't notice anything too crazy. I know somebody's been in here. There's bolts that are, stripped out and not original. But once I got to the air box, I poured some gas in it and kicked it over a couple times and it fired up. So don't know what dude thought was wrong with it exactly, other than the spark plug. Maybe he thought, oh man, you know, my bike's blown up. I got to get rid of it. So he posted it, and people are dishonest like that. But luckily, it wasn't a big deal. If he would have took the time to look at it, you know, he probably would have figured out what was wrong with it. Could be reeds clogged up. It's not getting enough air. It could be that fuel line just clogged up, or maybe bad gas. He did say it's been sitting for a while. So yeah. Then once I establish what I have, I dig deeper into what I have as far as figuring out how much money is invested in it, so I can kind of get a price on if I am going to sell it, or just for my own comfort, satisfaction of knowing what I have. I go through and I figure out all the aftermarket parts and about what they cost. So I've got a depth exhaust, the header pipe anyways. This doesn't look factory, but it may be. So I've got the depth exhaust, just the header pipe. That's all I priced out. That's $250. It does have pro taper bars. Those are, I say $50, but they're in rough shape, so I'm gonna say 50 anyways. They're new, like 70, 80. Acrobus plastics, they're not in good shape, so I'm not gonna add that as a plus to my cost. It does have a factory racing clutch cover, and the ignition cover that runs about $200, $90 for the clutch, and for the ignition cover about 80. I can tell that these head bolts have been taken off probably a time or two, but there's actually some spots that don't have rust on them. They're kind of shiny, so I know they've been off recently. And there's Wiseco stickers all over it, or Wisico, whatever you want to call it. There's stickers all over it, and they are fresh, so I'm assuming they bought a rebuild kit, got Wiseco stickers, Wisico stickers, whatever. That's about $140. Has an ASV brake lever. However, the front brakes do not work. That's another thing. Make sure you check your brakes and make sure your brakes work. It does have DD rotors on it. I know the front one is. I don't know about the back. And then the JT sprocket, I think it is, something like that. I couldn't find it online, so maybe that brand's wrong. But I've got like $780 in aftermarket parts that are still in good shape, so that's a plus when it comes to selling. That'll be my minimum, like same as the other guy. That's as low as he could take, probably, because that's how much money he had in it, just in aftermarkets. But my goal with this thing is clean it up. Hopefully I don't have to buy plastics. I'm thinking I'll clean these plastics up the best I can, slap some graphics on it, put some grips on it, maybe try and work out the front brakes, and just kind of clean everything up, make sure it's good to go. I may ride it a little bit, get some fun out of it, and then I'll probably sell it at minimum $1,500, and I'll have a little bit more money in my pocket. I could also trade it for something else that I could have some fun with. And when I trade it for something, I'm going to want something that's a little bit more valuable, I guess I could say, or easier to sell. It doesn't necessarily have to be valuable, which these are pretty hot in the area, so shouldn't be too big of a problem selling it. I'll just post it and see what I can do, but we are not going to take a loss. We are ahead already. It runs, so there's no chance that I'm going to lose my money unless I start it and it blows up. But that's that. Follow, subscribe for more videos on this. I'll be cleaning it up and I'll video some of that stuff, maybe even riding it. As per usual, I forgot to record. Probably a good thing. I shouldn't have recorded. The guy got bedhead. So I got the RM running, poured some gas in it, went and mixed up some fresh gas, fired it up, let it warm up. Runs great, fantastic, rides great, shifts great, but clutch doesn't engage. Like I was saying last night, that's a risk you take, but I've already started digging into it, and I'll show you guys what I found. Alright, so here she is. So this is my first problem. I did that. Yep, it's broke. I was loosening this. This is the first time I've ever messed with a clutch that wasn't new. So my basket, I know for a fact, is good. So what's happening is whenever I go to put it in gear, it's not, it's acting like you don't have the clutch pulled in. So it's not disengaging, or it's not engaging. But you can see, I mean, the basket's fine. These clutch plates seem fine. The only thing I've noticed is this plate here, right there, looks a little bit more worn than the others. Now, I kept my clutch plates in order, but I noticed that they were a little seized up. You can see imprints from where they were sitting before. So basically what I did was pulled them apart. Didn't sand them down, but I took a Brillo pad and got some of that rust off of there. And we're gonna see if that changes anything. But first, I've got to fix my mistake here where I broke this bolt off, and I'm getting pretty lucky it's coming out. But yeah, so I'm gonna work on this and I'll let you guys know if that fixes it. Alright, so through all that jibber jabber, fixing the clutch, swapping the spark plug, all that I didn't show you guys that I had to do, and then riding it for 2 hours because it was a lot of fun getting my dirt bike fix from it. We sold it for 1,100 bucks. We had about 830 in it, and so we pocketed not much, like 270, but it was somebody I know, they wanted it. It's not like I'm gonna try and double my money off of them. Contemplated keeping it, but we got the 1,100 bucks, and this, it's another little trade deal. Cheap gun, probably a $100 gun. It is a 20 gauge, but it's also a 30-30. You swap the barrels out like so, and you swap it for a 20 gauge. This is a 30-30. So we have that, and what I would do in this situation is sell this. But I'm going to keep it because I don't have a 30-30 and I wanted one. So say I could probably get 200 bucks for that thing. So we got 1,300 bucks for the dirt bike, made about 500 bucks. But to me, that's pretty much priceless. Cheap gun, but I wanted it. So gaining ground, have about 4 or 5 hours into pocketing 250 bucks and a 30-30. Not bad, if you ask me. And we got to have some fun riding a dirt bike. Win-win. I figured I would throw in a little bit of me riding the bike, even though it's not much and you can't even see me because I didn't have anybody to film. But it did ride good. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast. But we were in it to make some money, and we did that. So it is what it is. So obviously, my goal for this video, if you want to spend a weekend riding and stuff and you don't have a lot of money, but you have some money to spend it, and this is a way for you to get it back and still have a little bit of fun, learn a little bit as you go, enjoy it, meet some cool people, and if you just want to watch me do it, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.